Tumblr user holmesiswherethecrimeis asked me to play the Sherlock theme on my guitar, which I can't do, as I've said in the beginning, but there was also a question to reenact the scene of Sherlock and John's reunion as I want it to be. And I can't do that because I know exactly how it's going to be. Because my brain remembers stupid setlock stuff it saw in April, but can't remember who the director of Cat People is, which I would need for an exam, but no. So yes, I'm just going to, I wanted to shoot a short funny scene, but it's too hot, I swear to you, it's so hot. I can't be bothered to get my costumes, so I'm just going to tell you. Now, imagine it's the beginning of the 19th century, and there's a ball because John, of course, is getting engaged, and they're all dancing and stuff to Meryton Town Hall from the Pride and Prejudice soundtrack. And you know how they dance at the beginning of the 19th century, they just like hopped around and swapped a lot. And yes, anyway, suddenly Sherlock is dancing with John, and people are looking at them weirdly because you can't really have two men dancing together at the beginning of the 19th century, that's just weird. Sherlock has a goatee, of course, don't ask, and John has a moustache, and Sherlock is like, well, Mr. Watson, I'm not dead. And John is like, jolly good, Mr. Holmes, because they can't show emotions at the beginning of the 19th century, because of course they're part of the aristocracy. So yes, that wouldn't work. They just show emotions towards horses and dogs. So anyway, I think, well, Pride and Prejudice alternative universe, that would work really well with Sherlock. So if anyone wants to write a 50,000 word Pride and Prejudice alternative universe fanfic, I would love to read it. And I will trade you for a really disturbing fanfic based on a manga, which needs all the archive warnings, so yes, that would be really fun to write. Not to read, but if you want to trade, yes, I'm here. Pride and Prejudice alternative universe. Okay, then she asked me to talk about my favourite book character. And my favourite book character, that's Remus Lupin, and he's my favourite everything. So my favourite movie character is Remus Lupin, my favourite food is Remus Lupin, my favourite Sherlock episode is the one with Remus Lupin, my favourite movie is Why Is My Life So Sad?, the story of Remus Lupin. So yes, Lupin. Lupin is my favourite everything. And finally, there was a question to read you my favourite excerpt, an excerpt from my favourite Sherlock Holmes story. And I'm going to read you my favourite excerpt, because my favourite Sherlock Holmes story is actually The Valley of Fear, simply because no one ever talks about it. Yes, but I'm going to read you my favourite excerpt, and I never know what story it is. I had to look it up on Google last night. It's just a really pretentious big book. Yes, so if you know what story it is, we can be friends. I just need my glasses. Okay. Here it goes. In an instant he had whisked out a revolver from his breast and had fired 2 shots. I felt a sudden hot sear as if a red-hot iron had been pressed to my thigh. There was a crash as Holmes' pistol came down on the man's head. I had a vision of him sprawling upon the floor with blood running down his face, while Holmes rummaged him for weapons. Then my friend's wiry arms were around me, and he was leading me to a chair. "You're not hurt, Watson? For God's sake, say that you're not hurt." It was worth a wound. It was worth many wounds to know the depth of loyalty and love which lay behind that cold mask. The clear, hard eyes were dimmed for a moment, and the firm lips were shaking. For the one and only time I caught a glimpse of a great heart, as well as of a great brain. All my years of humble but single-minded service culminated in that moment of revelation. So yes, if you know the story, we can be friends. The next question comes from Tumblr user nondeducible, and is do you have any instant turn-offs when reading fics? And I have to say, it all depends on the fanfic. I mean, if it's just a one-shot, like 3,000 words, I don't really care. I'm probably gonna read it. Having said that, I haven't read that many fanfics. I mean, I've read mostly John Locke, one Smarglog, and one Welcome to Night Vale, and that's it. But if it's like a one-shot, I don't really care. But if it's a really long fanfic, like 150,000 words and something isn't right, like the characters, then I probably won't read it, because I have better things to do with my time than read 150,000 words I don't really enjoy reading. I mean, it's the same with books. If I don't like the book, I'm just going to stop. But what I really can't stand, and I'm going to regret this in a minute, I know, is that if John says love or dear to Sherlock, because I don't see it and I don't want it, and yes, I will regret it in a minute because I'm going to read you a fanfic and John says love to Sherlock. But yes, no love or dear. No. Now, the next question comes from Tumblr user sherlockgraham, and it goes: read part of your favorite fanfic that makes you sad. And I'm really, really happy about this question, because now I can show you what sad really is. It's not Reichenbach, because that's how you pronounce it correctly, Reichenbach, not Reichenbach. So it's not Reichenbach, but a fanfic I'm going to read to you in a minute. But first of all, show your favorite piece of clothing. I'm going to do that, and play something on your guitar, which I can't do, and also pronounce the name of the bad guy. And I'm guessing here it's going to be Charles Augustus Magnussen. I mean, in German I'd probably say Magnussen, but we're not in Germany or Austria or Switzerland or anywhere, so it's probably going to be Magnussen. Now, my favorite piece of clothing is my Doctor Who scarf, which my mom made for me, and it's really long, like 4 meters, and I could strangle myself with it, but I'm not going to do that. There it goes on, and yeah, that's it. And I have like tons of fandom t-shirts, and none of them ever got recognized anywhere on the street, but this scarf actually brought me a friend at university. So yes, thank you, scarf. And yes, that is like my favorite piece of clothing. And I'm going to take it off now because it's really hot. Ugh. Yes, goodbye. And now for the fanfic part. Now, I'm going to give you a warning, because the Paradox series isn't funny at all, and it's what I'm going to read is from the last part, The Dying of the Bees, and it mentions drug use and probably suicidal thoughts, and also language not appropriate for children, so if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But yes, here it goes. Paradox series, The Dying of the Bees. By the way, John is having a nightmare about Sherlock, so just that you have some context. John lets Sherlock go. He at once pulls a clean disposable syringe out of the case from a small supply of them, and then palms a small bottle of morphine. "I love you," John says as calmly as he can. "Not now, later. Well, for me also now, but never mind. Not for you yet. Listen to me. I might be a figment of your imagination, and this might be a nightmare for either you or me. I don't know. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to show me the dosage you're planning, and then listen to my advice. That's all." Looking lost and grey and puzzled, Sherlock readies the syringe. John studies his own knobby knees, studies the floor, stares at his steady hands. This had better be a goddamn nightmare, he prays, because he doesn't want to live here either. No one would. Sherlock stills. John looks up. Right then. John shuffles forward until he's between Sherlock's legs, entirely invading his space, but not touching him much, and puts one hand on that shoulder. It's all John can handle at the moment, because he wants to put the other hand on the side of that beautiful face and kiss him until he knows what living is actually like, but he can't. He's only going to know what living is like later. Sherlock smells like Sherlock, but also of chemicals and cigarettes and despair. John clears his throat. You're going to nearly die twice in your life. Well, several times actually. No, strike that. A great many. But here are the 2 closest calls I know about. One is years later, when you experiment with a drug called Devil's Foot Root for a case, because you're a consummate wanker and perversely enjoy scaring me witless. And the other is now, and they save you. And you're angry for a while about that. But, oh Christ, please, Sherlock, John begs, and now his voice is wavering, and he's clutching the young man's black shirt, and the young man looks frightened. That is a lethal dose. That could kill an elephant, Sherlock. And I need you. I'm not going to tell you that you're a hero to millions, or that you saved the world, but, oh God, love, you matter to me. You matter to me like nothing else does, and I shout to the rooftops that I'm fucking you, because I will be fucking you, and loving you, and don't take that away from me just because someone else missed this opportunity. Please. I'm nothing like you. I don't even make it quieter when you feel this way. But when you do feel this way, I still think you're the best man, You're the most human person I've ever known, and somehow I want you. Lower the dose. You're worried about other things, later. About the bees. The bees are not doing well, Sherlock, and neither am I just now. You don't care about me yet, but do it for me, and for the bees. And finally, the last questions come from Tumblr user iamboredletsshootthewall, and the first one is that I should do the Doctor Who theme song. Yes, I'm just going to do the part I'm always doing when I want to be annoying, and when I want to annoy my mom, and it goes like this. Do-wee-do. Yeah, that's all I do if I want to be annoying. Just do-wee-do, and everyone is running away. Yeah, then the next question is if I can do a Scottish accent, and that's a really weird question because she knows I can't do a Scottish accent, and that I'm going to be in Scotland in a few weeks, and that everyone is going to kill me there if they see this video and then see me on the streets. Anyway, here it goes, my Scottish accent. I don't want to get married, I want to stay single and let my hair flow in the wind as I ride through the glen, firing arrows into the sunset. Yes, please don't kill me. And the last question is what my favourite part about Tumblr is. And I'm going to answer that with a musical number, because I'm not going to sing, but there's a musical, a movie which is also a Broadway yes, show, called The Producers, and there's a song, I Wanna Be a Producer, and it starts with all these accountants sitting in a line in their grey suits and just doing the same movement over and over again, and they're singing that they're very unhappy with their lives, and that's how I feel most days about Tumblr. But then again, there are days when there's just this staircase that appears out of nowhere, and it has this line of showgirls on it, and these showgirls can be a Sherlock jailer or the next Doctor or something, and those are really the days that I like most about Tumblr. And also all the blooms to my Bialystok, because Bialystok is like a really annoying character and no one really likes him except Bloom. So I think the few people who like me on Tumblr and the showgirl days, those are my favourite days, or my favourite part about Tumblr. Yes, well, this was my video, and I hope you enjoyed it, even though it's way too long, and I'm sorry, but I just talk a lot. And again, if anyone wants to write that Pride and Prejudice fanfic, I'm right here, okay? And I'm going to trade you a fanfic based on this manga for it. And it's really disturbing, okay? It's 18+. So, anyway, if anyone wants to write a 50,000 word Pride and Prejudice Sherlock alternative universe fanfic, I'm right here, and I'm going to write a really disturbing one that's going to need all the archive warnings like major character death and non-con and so on. But it's going to be fun. Now, I'm going away now because, yes, that smells really nice, actually. And I'm going to stop smelling mangas now, and I'm going to go. Okay, bye!